Hello! We're gonna see how this works. Not real sure, but hello, welcome. My name is justineburoker, and I am going to do a little dive into human design because, it has changed my world in so many ways, and I know that there are people who need this information. If you feel like you don't know who you are, if you feel like you can't get along with people in your family, if you feel like you and your partner are constantly going back and forth at each other, this is for you. This is just the highest overview you could probably get, but it's going to help you. So why human design? Well, it can help you with a variety of things, but I just pointed out 3 key points that I personally have taken away from human design on this journey. So human design helps you understand who the hell you are. There is so much noise out in society. There's so many people telling others you can't feel that way, you're not supposed to do it that way, that's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Human design helps dismantle that. It also doesn't change based on how you're feeling that day. Human design is based on the day you were born, the time you were born, the city and the country you were born in. And it doesn't change based on your mood. I mean, things can change, of course, but like with those other personality type tests and assessments, they ask you questions like, do you avoid conflict? How are you with crowds? Do you enjoy being by yourself or with others? It can vary from day to day. And so I never really connected with those much, but human design, I connect with it on so many different levels, and I continue to learn more about myself and my family, which you'll hear more about in future videos, the more I learn. So it also helps you understand, like I said, got ahead of myself a little bit, helps you understand the ones you love most, because they too, believe it or not, have their own design. In my family, my husband's a generator, my son is a projector, our daughter is a manifester, and I'm a manifesting generator. So that is 4 of the 5 different energy types in this one household, okay? That means there are 4 of us who are functioning different, who are responding different, who have different motives, drives, all of the things. So you can about imagine how powerful this tool, getting to know their designs and understand and accept their designs, how powerful that has been in our family. Human design brings together the principles of the I Ching, astrology, Kabbalah, Hindu, Brahmin, the chakra system, and quantum physics. And today in this video, we're just going to talk about the different energy types. But as you can see here, there are a whole lot of layers to human design. And each layer is like peeling back the onion, and you get a deeper understanding of yourself and others. You are able to see things within yourself that may not have been in your awareness before, and it lets you accept who you are. Love it. Our friend Ra Uruku here in 1987 had a spiritual awakening, and he states that he heard this voice that gave him the entire download of the human design system, and he dedicated his entire life to spreading the lessons of human design across the world. You may not have heard of it, and I was born in 1987, which is pretty awesome, but he was very interesting individual, but I am so grateful for his gift and this download that he received, and I know you will be too. The human design body graph is made up of 9 centers. So if you hear people saying your head center or your G center or your ego center or your root center, that is what they're talking about. They're talking about these shapes within the body graph that are going to tell your story. This is where your dots start to connect. And in the next few minutes, you're going to understand how they differentiate between each other. Now, these centers come in different ways. So as you're looking at your body graph, you're going to notice that the centers are either colored in or they're not. If they're colored in, they are defined. They are consistent. That is consistent energy for you every single day. If they are white, not colored in, they are undefined. That means you may have inconsistent energy there, or in other words, you may be open, or you're even in a sense open to conditioning. But I really don't want to make it seem like it's a negative thing to be undefined in any of your centers, because there is so much empowerment that you can find within those undefined centers. It's almost as if you hold space for someone who is defined, and that's a little bit deeper than I'm going to go in this video. But know that there's no negative message that should come from your human design. It should be a way to empower you and a way for you to lean into your gifts, your unique abilities. And so as you're looking at your chart, or maybe you're learning about it, stay far away from the people who tell you negative things. Like, if you have an open root center, you are going to have a hard time with external pressure. No, you just handle things differently. And the more you become aware of what alignment is for you, and you are able to get yourself back in alignment, you're back right where you started. There's nothing negative that you should take from human design or allow anyone to project onto you in human design. It's a little plug there. Now we're going to dig into the 5 different energy types. I made these slides a really long time ago, and when I was going through them, I'm like, really, Justine? 4 energy types. That's what I had written on here. And I'm a Manny-Gen. Like, I didn't even count myself. Anyways, so I just had to update the slide before recording this. But there are 5 energy types in human design. We have the generators, we have the manifestors, we have the manifesting generators, the projectors, and the reflectors. And I'm going to go into each one just a little bit, but there they are. The first energy type are the generators. They make up 70% of the world's population, and their strategy is to respond. My husband is a generator, and generators are also known for their unlimited amount of energy. When a generator is doing something that they love to do, they can do it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and then before they know it, their entire day is done and they still feel energized. The key is for them to not feel frustration. When a generator feels frustration, they fall out of alignment, and then it's kind of hard to make decisions. Things aren't as clear. You kind of get And another really cool thing that about generators are their sacral center, which is this. I don't know if you can see this as I'm this red square in the middle of the body graph. That is always going to be defined for a generator. That is where, people say listen to your gut. That is true for a generator and a Manny-Gen. When asked a question, when told something, when they have an idea, a generator should turn to their gut and get the feeling uh-huh or uh-uh. It's the hell yes or the hell no. And you don't always have to respond to every single hell yes moment in that moment. You can kind of just sit around with it or ask the universe, should I be doing this? Is this a good idea? If it is, show me 3 signs, whether it is a bluebird or I love numbers. The number 3 always shows up for me. I always see 3 threes. That's my universal sign of you're doing the right thing. It can be different for everyone. So if you are a generator, get comfortable knowing your gut and trust your gut. It's not going to lead you wrong. If you're unsure whether it's a uh-huh or an feeling, ask yourself it in another way. Another example I like to give with generators, like with my husband, I can't go to him and say, what do you want for supper? Generators don't respond that way. I have to say stuff to him like, do you want pizza for supper? He'll get the uh-huh or the uh-uh. Do you want stir fry? He hates stir fry. but that would give him the hell no feeling. So asking a generator yes or no questions is going to make them more aligned with who they are, and you're also going to get a more genuine answer, which, you know, if you're asking someone, what do you want for dinner? Like, I don't know what I want. They're going to become frustrated. It might even turn into a fight. You think they're just indecisive, and it just turns into this tailspin. So if you are a generator and you're asked a question that isn't quite sitting with you, in your head, switch it to a yes or no question, and then look to your gut. Next, let's talk about manifesting generators. This is me. This is my energy type in human design. This is actually my chart that you're looking at right here. Manifesting generators are a hybrid of generators and manifestors. We've talked about generators. We'll get to manifestors in a minute. But what sets a manifesting generator from a generator is that they have their throat center connected to a motor center. So looking at my chart here, the throat center is that brown square by my throat. Imagine that. And then you will see the number 45 is lit up. There's like a red circle around it, and it connects. There's a line, a black and red line that's connecting it to a red triangle, number 21. That is what makes me a manifesting generator. My throat is connected to a motor center, and because of that, my strategy is to respond and to inform. Okay? Generators are to respond, manifestors are to inform. And I have to be honest when I say that I struggle with informing, because I, growing up, was one who, and still catch myself doing this, I will tend to do something without informing someone of it, and then turn around and ask for forgiveness later. The perfect example of this is when I signed up for a year-long mastermind with my coach, and I did not tell my husband about it. I just did it. And then he started to notice that money was coming out of the account. And that's not a place you want to be. If I would have just informed him of the decision I was making, it wouldn't have led to the conflict and the struggle that came with that. I was just so used to being, and not by him, but being told that's a bad idea, you shouldn't do that, is that really a smart way to spend your money? So I went with my gut, which I got the hell yeah, I just forgot to inform. So that's that. Manifesting generators, they're the squirrel brains. They are the multi-passionate entrepreneurs. They are the people who they can have their hands in a million different buckets, and people are like, how do you keep everything straight? They are the people who can find a shortcut in anything. Something that may take other people hours to do, a mani-gen can get done in half the time. They are freaking moving all the time. They're full of energy. But when they get frustrated or they don't inform, they can become out of alignment. Manifesting generators also have double the power, but double the limiting beliefs. This girl's got a lot of limiting beliefs to deal with every single day. So that is very, very true. But that is the manifesting generator. And next we have projectors. I love projectors too. I love every design. But a lot of people that I tend to work with in coaching are projectors. And I think projectors are such unique people because they have the ability to see what someone is about before that person may even be aware of it. They are able to have a bird's eye view of the collective and be able to point people where they need to go. They are like the guides of our world. They are the leaders. President Barack Obama is a projector. Who else is? Nelson Mandela is a projector. There are so many neat human beings, powerful leaders who are projectors, and I just think they are such a neat energy type. The difficulty that projectors can run into is because they're so wise, they can come off as a know-it-all. And so that is why it is important for them to follow their strategy of waiting for the invite. And an invite can look different, obviously, but an invite could be on social media. Let's say you're a health and wellness coach and someone drops in your DMs and says, your message is exactly what I needed to hear. Or they say, I am struggling with this or this. That is your invite to share your knowledge, to share your expertise. When you don't have that invite, people may, not always, perceive you as like, no one asked for your opinion, or like, do you always have to put your 2 cents in? If you've ever heard that and you're a projector, let me know in the comments. I know it's very frustrating. My son is a projector. We struggle with him in school because he blurts out, okay? Peyton is one who, getting him to engage is challenging in itself. So if he's in class and he knows the answer or he has insight to something, he won't raise his hand and wait to be called on. He instead projects his answer out, and people perceive that as disruptive, not obeying, a lot of different things. So you can understand how conditioning can be so huge, And this is why I really, really think it's important. And my passion for human design came from getting to know my family's type, because we're all so different. When they become bitter, that is when they tend to fall out of alignment. Sometimes projectors can even get like a metallic taste in their mouth when they're feeling bitter. So again, this goes much deeper, but all in all, they have an undefined sacral. And this example of a projector is really defined. Peyton only has 3 centers defined, I think. But anyways, it can be a variety, and then there's different ways that each projector responds, which is for another video. Now let's talk about manifestors. Manifestors make up 9% of the population, and their strategy is to inform people around them. Georgia is a manifestor. And one thing I've learned about manifestors that I think is so cool, well, I guess how you want to look at it, it is so easy to influence or condition a manifestor because they dream so big. And a lot of times when a manifestor shares their ideas or their visions, people look at them like they're a little crazy. So learning this about Georgia has allowed me to see her, what I see as weird or like way out in left field. It allows me to embrace that with her, to celebrate it, to explore it more. And so they are the people who have an idea, and then they look and inform others of their idea and ask for their support to make it happen. They are the rebels. They can be a little unpredictable at times, especially if a manifestor hears no a lot. They may tend to do things and ask for forgiveness later. Remember what I said in the Manny-Gen slide? It's all about conditioning. And so when they don't inform, people around them get a little angry, like her going across the street without me knowing, that type of thing. They do things to avoid no. So knowing this about your manifestors in your life will help improve their self-confidence and also help them step into their power and not feel weird about it. And last but not least, we have our unicorns of human design, the reflectors. Reflectors are people who have no centers defined in their body graph. They are completely open, like the one you see here. This is actually, no, it's not. I was gonna say, this is my sister. I found out my sister is a reflector, and I was just so excited because they only make up 1% of the population. They are such powerful people. They serve as mirrors for the collective. When a reflector is in your presence, it sometimes can seem overwhelming because you see so much about yourself through them. They also are so full of deep perspectives and wisdom, and they just have such a unique insight on life. Their strategy is to wait for the lunar cycle. So what that is the moon phases. That is the best way for a reflector to navigate through making decisions, whether it's the right time or not. They say to wait a lunar cycle. And it's a really in-depth process that I'm not going to go into this video here, but it's like no other design. I just love reflectors too. I love visuals, so we're going to end this with a little graphic for you to take away. And this is the human design type soccer team here in this slide, and you've got the manifestors, and they are the goal scorers. Their style, their technique, it's unpredictable. They're full of genius ideas. They see a vision and they go for it. Projectors move between the different types, and they set the ball up so that the forwards can feed it back to the defenders. They're the directors of the game. They coordinate with other players as and when they are needed. The generators are the backbone of the team, and they need to wait for the ball to come to them, and then they can kick it and respond. They're the defenders. The reflectors are rare, but perhaps the most crucial member of the team, and they are able to move around the field and see what all the other players are doing. And even though they don't move like all the other players on the team, they still have a very, very crucial place and purpose during the game.